Howdy, and welcome back to the channel. You got Digital Asset Hutch here, bringing you all the know about the digital asset and US economy space. And as you guys can tell from the title today, we are going to go over that 200-day moving average, as well as we're going to go ahead and bring you an update on Cardano and ICP. So if you guys enjoyed today's content, go ahead and drop a like below, as well as subscribe and stay up to date with all of my most recent content. So let's go ahead and pull up that CBBI because you guys know that is the first place I love starting. And as you guys can see here, it is coming in at an 18. And we are just still going up. As y'all can tell here, we might hit our head and pause at around 28, but we'll go ahead and dive into one of the specifics of the CBBI, and that is the NUPL. You've heard me call it about the just percentage of people that are in profit, but we're going to go ahead and dive in on the actual formula of it. So as you can see, it is broken down by realized and market value. Current market value obviously is the current price of Bitcoin multiplied by the number of coins in circulation, just kind of like the market cap. Now the realized value is essentially taking the price of each Bitcoin when it was last moved, aka think of like you're sending it to an exchange to trade it for something else. Maybe you are sending something to your friend. The last time it was sent, it was that price. So it takes and adds all of those individual prices up and takes it the average of those, and then it multiplies those by the average price and the total number of coins. Or not, yeah, the average price by the total number of coins. So that is what NUPL is. So we will be checking this a lot because as y'all can see, I do believe this is a important chart to follow. You can see here during that Black Swan event in 2020, we won't name, it sends a lot of people in the negative, and essentially we're never, or when we are in the red, we haven't hit the red this cycle, but typically right when we build our head about 70%, it's probably a good place to start taking profits. Not financial advice, that's just kind of my own philosophy. And obviously we get lower and lower, so we kind of do need to adjust as cycles go on. Let's go ahead and go into CoinMarketCap, and we have it broken down by 7-day percent. And you can see Filecoin, ICP, Cornucopias, VeChain, Solana, kind of foreshadowing into some of the topics we'll be covering today. But we will be using this as a segue into ICP because they are up 82% on the year and 30% the last 7 days. Now I want to go ahead and pull up their chart because ultimately you can see here that they have run up, this is the day chart, ever so slightly the last 3 days, about 30%, 40%. So what could be that reasoning? And it is that the Phoenix exchange, one of the oldest exchanges around, actually did go ahead and list ICP on the 16th, which is when we had that pump of about 23%. So this is kind of reminding me of that Coinbase scenario back in 2020, 2021, kind of what some of their employees got hit with insider trading for. Essentially what happens is whenever a coin gets listed on one of these exchanges, now it doesn't have the same trading volume as Coinbase or Crow, but just the fact that it's having these headlines, getting its name out there again, I think it could be a buy the rumor, sell the news kind of deal where you saw these coins run up 20, 30, 40%, and then ultimately the day or two it gets listed on Coinbase, it kind of bleeds the following week 20%. So I've taken some profits out of ICP just because of this scenario, just in case. Now I will be getting my bags heavier in the future, but I just wanted to kind of guys show y'all that what ICP was doing and kind of what might have sparked it for y'all. So let's go ahead and segue into Bitcoin while we are here on the charts. And while we are on the day, we're going to go ahead and move to a higher time frame, and that is the 200 or the weekly chart. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and hide some of these levels for y'all so we can clear it up. And we're just going to go ahead and pull up the 200-day moving average. And as y'all can see kind of from what happened in the thumbnail, Bitcoin ran up and hit its head against that 200-day. And I wanted to highlight this for y'all because we never really fell below it. We kind of just bounced off of it for a week and then eventually used our trend. This was during that Black Swan event that I was telling you guys about from that NUPL. We just hit our head and bounced right off. So this is an area I will be paying attention to because if we do flip this, I think this will just change me to 100%. That there will be no more bottom. I think we will then use this as support until the next bear market. And then once we have that another bear market in 2026, I'll start using this as my time to get in, as well as maybe look at the 300-day because I know we bounced off the 300-day right here. I can show y'all that right here. Let me go ahead and change this. So y'all can see here, we kind of fell below and used this as our average, and maybe if FTX didn't collapse, we would have just had the bottom right here. So I wanted to highlight this for y'all. Let's go ahead and jump into that 4-hour chart because I want to show y'all a channel that is developing that I think is, already developed, but I think important to pay attention to. So this is definitely our support. Let's go to a different chart so it's clear. So this would definitely be our resistance right here. So this would be our resistance as well as just 25k with the psychological, which we will show y'all kind of why here in a bit. 25k, 25.2. That area is a psychological resistance. And then this would be the absolute bottom channel that I do see here that is developing. So this could be a good area to get into some trades, as well as we are also seeing a nice little channel play out right here. Now I know we fell below it, but ultimately once we popped back up and hit our head in that 25.2 range, we fell back down and stayed in this channel like we did previously before we fell out of it. So that is something important to notice. So I think this channel is something y'all should keep your guys' eye out for. But that is all we have on the Bitcoin chart, and let's kind of dive into that Cardano because as y'all can see here, that Valentine upgrade is fully live. Their native support for SECP now fosters cross-chain interoperability and ensures the highest of security for those dApp developments. As y'all know, we went over how they have a different seed phrases, higher seed phrases, as well as like Ethereum cross-chain nets for Cardano. There's an Ethereum chain as well as Polygon chain, and just there's a many side chains now for Cardano's main net, so it's kind of getting rid of some of the congestion. I do want to also highlight for you all that the Hydra team has finalized working on some gaps to align Hydra scripts for implementation with some specifications which also improve the script size and costs. Now, I do want to make y'all aware that it is going to get delayed almost 99% because they have completed the work on dealing differently with the contest during the contation phase. These will now always push out the deadline, hence the period are easier to pick up. So what this kind of just means is they were testing, they ultimately found some bad code, or they found something that might not work when they officially fuse it into Cardano's mainnet. So now they're going to go back and vote, and it looks like they have voted, and now they're going to be implementing it into it to see how it reacts this time around. So this is one thing that we do love about Cardano, because it just shows you that they are always willing to just take their time to make sure it is a perfect fit before putting something out there that's not ready. So I want to go ahead and pull up the total market cap for all of crypto, and you guys can see here that we are above that $1 trillion range that I was really hoping for, and I'm glad that we have finally bursted through it. Now, could it be a fake out like back here before the FTX collapse? Maybe, but I do think we are looking bullish that we flipped it. I do possibly want to see a retest, but it looks like this could have been a deeper retest that is pulling out more bullish. The next one I want to confirm us pass is 1.18, because that is the last local high. If we do pass that, like I said, I think it will be 100% confirmed. And if we do pass that, we would be threatening Google and Silver for the top 5 of total assets across everything: public companies, precious metals, cryptocurrencies, ETFs. I think that would be pretty interesting, because I know Bitcoin alone flirted with the top 7 during the bull run. So we'll keep our tabs on this as well. And as we end the video, we'll be going ahead and doing it with one of our new favorite segments around the Twitter sphere. And we'll be starting off with one of the stories. As you can see here, Bitcoin rallied after today's CPI. So this was roughly about a week ago, 6 days ago. But I wanted to bring this back because they were nervous about the SEC, all this SEC FUD, and ultimately, as you can see here, Bitcoin's at 24.4. We're pushing our head on 25, running 3,000 since all of that FUD. So this is just kind of showing that there is no more of this FUD pushing us down further like we were seeing this last year. Ultimately, we're seeing this negative news not really have as big of an effect anymore. So I thought this was important to highlight for you. And one other tweet I think was important to notice was just what's happening on Solana. Their transactions are skyrocketing. They're higher than most L1, L2s, Cardano, Ethereum, Polygon, Avalanche. And it's interesting because I thought after the FTX, after it literally crashed, I will show you here, it crashed 70% and it crashed probably 90%. We'll see here officially in a second, in one cycle, and it's still having a lot of growth. So I will definitely be looking at this chain, as I've already sold out of it, unfortunately, to get back into, because you can see a 71% here. It rallied up, and then we had another crash of 90%. So Solana was known as the gaming blockchain, in my opinion, as what some have kind of just told me. So I think it will be very interesting to pay attention to going forward. And I thought it was just important to highlight that for you, that they were beating out Cardano, Ethereum, and most of these layer ones. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out the 25,000. I typed in 25,000 Bitcoin, and you can just see the amount of tweets. The psychological level, I think once we break it, it could do phenomenal things for Bitcoin. So I wanted to highlight this level for y'all as well, with some of those market cap numbers. We're going to go ahead and pull up this 25. You can just see is we are butting our head up against it constantly. And I think if we can finally break it, if you pull up this VBR, I drew this line before even looking at this. If we can get past this last little resistance point, there is nothing. And this is why I think and I've been saying on Twitter, if y'all don't follow me, I suggest y'all following me. Link in the description below. That's why I constantly think on Twitter it will be a fast track to 30K, because there's nothing holding us. You see here, Bitcoin likes hanging out in these peak areas. It likes consolidating around these peaks. So this is what I wanted to point out for y'all. I've given you some levels to look at on different graphs here. We have Bitcoin right here. I think it will trade around these areas if we actually can break 25K. We might get a little resistance here, and the bears might try to scare us back down, but we probably won't see that if we get in this range, and we'll probably consolidate for a bit before we try to push up to 40 or before we get one last push down of about 30%. But that's all I have for y'all today. If you guys enjoyed today's content, go ahead and drop a like below. Leave a comment if you want me to follow anyone on Twitter so they could possibly end up on around the Twitter sphere. But I hope y'all stay safe out there, and bye-bye.